Minecraft, a game that fueled my childhood. Something so simple, yet so complicated. The idea of an infinite sandbox where I could entertain my fantasy of building anything appealed to me at a young age. But as the years passed, my enjoyment of the game exponentially decreased. I started to age, and my game preferences shifted as I got older. I started getting into shooters. My first violent game was Just Cause 3, which I managed to achieve 100% completion on both PS4 and on PC. Then CSGO came along, and for whatever reason, I gave up Minecraft entirely and focused only on CSGO. Shortly after, the plague known as Fortnite grabbed my attention.
Oh, stoke the fire? Whoa, I didn't know that.
I started improving my skills on these games by fine-tuning my equipment, updating my hardware, and removing my viewers' brain cells by starting a streaming career. I even tried Valorant, a game that is known for its similarity to CSGO.
I shot him in the face! Почему что не уминает, блядь?
That was entirely headshots.
After nearly 2 years, my skill in these games peaked, and just like the interest I used to have for Minecraft, it quickly faded away. From here, I had nowhere to go. I was a lost cause. The subjects my videos covered lost all the consistency that they never had. I went on to try hard games like Snake, and I'm not kidding. But suddenly, out of the shadows, Minecraft captivated my time once again. I came back to the game in 1.14 after taking a 3-year hiatus. My last experience with Minecraft was in 1.9. So, I was very thrown off upon my re-entry. However, I eventually learned the new ways of Minecraft, and I beat the Ender Dragon on my old survival world within days. At the time, I heard that a server called Hypixel had claimed the position of most played server, so I decided to give it a try. I spent days playing Bed Wars and Sky Wars, and through Technoblade's Potato War video, I discovered the single game mode that would change my life. Skyblock. Skyblock is a classic game mode that I would say the majority of Minecraft players have experienced. However, Hypixel Skyblock takes all of that previous knowledge, packs it up into a cardboard box, crushes it with a hydraulic press, and throws it into the Mariana Trench. Before your expectations are blown away, you start picking up the basic mechanics of the game. You are immediately introduced to skills when you chop a few blocks of tree down and level up to Foraging 1. This is the moment you realize that everything, and I mean everything, is not how it should be. You bridge your way over to the portal, and once you enter it, your Minecraft crashes because of the number of assets in the lobby. Once your computer calms down, you are finally able to enter the portal, and instead of the computer shutting down, you shut down. Your mind has taken in too much information at once, and you simply have a short but powerful seizure. In the process of your soul reconnecting with your body, you start to explore. Places like the mine, the park, the graveyard, the auction house, the bank, the forest, and the mountain all start to become familiar. You have now entered the first stage of Skyblock. Your first instinct is to improve your island, until you realize that it actually serves zero purpose in the game, and 90% of your time is spent on public islands. You finally decide to stop building that mansion of yours and go get some gear. Mining your way to mining level 5, you gain access to the diamond reserve and craft yourself a full set of diamond tools and armor. I'm talking hat, shirt, pants, shoes, sword, pick, shovel, axe, hoe, and button. You have now met the minimum requirements for entering your local McDonald's, and you're feeling pretty confident. You even decided to spend over 2 hours grinding experience to upgrade your sword with Bane of Arthropods 4 and Telekinesis. Nothing can stop you now! People are so jealous of your godly appearance that they are giving you free items and money to show their appreciation. You level up each skill to level 5, including fishing, and you quickly discover minions are the best thing to ever happen in any video game. Without minions, Skyblock would just be a boring lump of coal that Santa delivered in the middle of summer. Why are minions so good, you ask? Minions give you the ability to passively gather materials instead of wasting your already worthless hours, which might make you think,
wait, is this just another idle game?
well, yes, but actually no. Hypixel Skyblock gives you the opportunity to decide on whether or not you want to casually log in every Friday night, or stay online religiously for over 8 hours a day, only taking breaks to eat and make YouTube videos. Sleep is not an option. With this newly discovered mechanic, your skill levels increase at rates never seen before. There are also many upgrades that you can add to minions. You can add hoppers, fuel compactors, minion expanders, fly catchers, auto smelters, diamond spreading storages, and a flint shovel. You realize that super compactors are essential for basic minion functionality, so you spend the first 2 weeks of the game obtaining them. You also realize that fuel can increase the speed of minions, so you spend another 2 weeks of the game obtaining enchanted lava buckets. Overall, you have just spent the first month of your Skyblock experience questioning whether or not this game is for you. After that month of grinding, you come to the conclusion that diamond gear is useless in the Skyblock world. You correct this awful mistake by killing zombies for lapis armor and farming gas for a silver fang. You also obtain a hurricane bow from from hours of your skeleton minions slaving away. Magma bosses become your main motivation for getting online every 2 hours, only to get outdamaged by a Midas tryhard running around in full superior armor at 300 speed. You try to join this man by getting combat level 12 in order to unlock the end. You travel there, only to discover that even level 42 Endermen can one-shot you into the Shadow Realm, also causing you to lose the 10 grand you were carrying, along with your confidence.
Oh! I didn't mean to do that. That's another 5 grand down the toilet.
On a quest to increase your health and defense, you start going on a hunt for fairy souls, using your new grappling hook that you overpaid for in the auction house. You also get a fairly low level skeleton pet to up your damage. After a few days of ranking up your pet to level 30, you finally get farming level 7 and unlock the bazaar. The bazaar allows you to purchase and sell various items at a price set by the person creating the transaction. It's basically the auction house on crack. With this crazy new ability, you upgrade your minions until you obtain 10 slots. During this time of rapid progression, you stumble across the Hypixel forums. This is a place where very intelligent and considerate people come together to help other players for the better. Swooning over this vibrant community, you obligate yourself to create an account. If you have a rank, the forums will be a very helpful way to gain information from peers. But if you don't have a rank, be prepared to get called a non in every single one of your posts. Also, if a YouTuber calls someone a scammer, you are legally required to tell them that they're public shaming. On the forums, you start looking for ways to get rich quick. Obviously, the only thing more interesting than mindlessly farming wheat in the lobby is farming pumpkins on your island.
Solosice, why in the world would I try to make money from farming? The entire point of Skyblock is to make as much money as possible. Why would I do something that barely gives me any money?
Now, that is a very good point to make, until you realize that you are dirt poor and will do literally anything for money. So, you spend 12 hours, 750,000 coins, and 300 magic soups to make your first pumpkin farm. The best part about pumpkin farming is that it auto-regenerates itself, meaning that you can go AFK on your island, and after a few hours, you will have a fresh vat of pumpkins to collect. So, after a hard day's work of pumpkin farming, you jump into your AFK pool shortly before jumping into bed, and then you immediately get kicked from your island due to a server reboot. The next day, you go AFK while you are at the store buying more SpongeBob Go-Gurt, and you come back home to a full pumpkin farm. After 30 long minutes of holding mouse 1 and saying Yankee with no brim over and over again, you have made about 70,000 coins in pumpkins. But you can't sell those pumpkins yet. You gotta be the smart little cupcake that you are and craft yourself some pumpkin boots. These will allow you to hold mouse 1 for about 5 minutes less than usual, as they will greatly increase your speed. With your new farm, your bank account starts soaring into the millions, and you are quickly approaching the end game. To show your newly obtained status, you buy enough dragon fragments off the bazaar to make a full wise dragon set. You also purchase a Midas sword that costs only a few million. Finally, you gather enough materials to craft the Runon's bow, which is arguably the best bow in Skyblock. You start frequenting the end dimension, and even though it takes 4 hits to kill a zealot, you manage to get yourself 1 summoning eye every month or so. You're so confident about the number of hours you have wasted in this cube game that you start flexing on children in the Lapis mines.
They still have miner's armor. Get good, kiddo.
But it will all be worth it when you can finally make your money back with dragons. For those who have never played Skyblock, dragons are basically the final boss of the game. There are 7 variants: old, young, wise, strong, unstable, protector, and best of all, superior. Dragons are known for dropping incredibly valuable items, such as the Ender Dragon pet, the Aspect of the End, or very expensive armor pieces. All you need to know is that dragons are very powerful, and almost never actually give you the items you want. Anyways, you are finally able to start participating in these dragon fights without getting absolutely obliterated. Of course, you're not the one putting the summoning eyes in. You are just the person who is leeching a couple of fragments after landing yourself in the top 15 for damage. Although leech is a powerful word when talking about you, since you don't do any damage to start out with. When you can stop, you don't want to, and when you want to stop, you can't. That's addiction. Someone probably. Skyblock never seemed like a game that you would spend countless hours experiencing, and that's just it. There is no true way to play Skyblock, because it's not a game. It's an experience. That being said, you enjoy that experience to the point of interfering with your everyday life. Remember how I mentioned earlier that Skyblock gave you the option between tryharding and taking it easy? There was never an option. Your family members are requesting your presence. Your school is calling you, asking where you have been. You have lost all of your friends, just to play more Skyblock. Skyblock is a mental drug that can only be stopped when you have achieved the maximum. And so you start on the grind, to achieve the maximum. Up until this point, I haven't mentioned talismans, mostly because it takes the average Skyblock player this long to actually acknowledge the incredible powers they grant. Talismans are used to increase damage little by little.
But how in the world can they increase damage? This one literally just gives me some speed.
Whoa there, calm down, buddy. You just haven't understood the power of reforges. For whatever reason, the Skyblock creators decided that it would be a genius idea to allow talismans the ability to be reforged. The only difference from a normal reforge and a talisman reforge is, talismans have to be either in the accessory bag or in the inventory for their reforges to apply, meaning you can have as many talismans as you want and all of the effects will be combined into one giant stat boost. This method is called talisman spamming, and it's a common way to increase damage. By increasing your damage with low tier talismans, you are able to double your damage. On your grain hunt for talismans, you come across quests, specifically the Romero quest. The Romero quest is essentially you running back and forth between a woman and her soon-to-be husband, giving them items. In order to complete the Romero quest, you need 1 yellow rock, 15 poppies, 64 emeralds, 1 enchanted
Red mushroom
block, 1 rabbit, 4 potion with cheaper decent coffee base, 1 enchanted lava bucket, 1,291 intelligence, 1 emerald blade, 1 flower minion, and 1 tuxedo, all costing around 10 million coins. After completing the quest, you receive a talisman that can be reforged to give you plus 15 crit damage. Even though this is not a lot of damage compared to what it costs, you grind for it anyways. Days and even weeks are spent obtaining the materials necessary to reform the broken bond between these two lovers. And in the end, they are happily wedded. Oh, and there's fairy souls, which you collect by scrolling through the coordinates on a Wikipedia page and traveling to those destinations. Now, at this point in the game, you need to be making big money, and you can't make big money without big minion slots. So, you spend millions of coins buying the materials needed to craft 350 unique minions, which is enough to unlock the 20th minion slot. With the increased slots, you can start making some real idle money. At this point, you have so much money and you don't know what to do with it. Just kidding, yes you do. You spend it on incredibly overpriced items. Remember before how I mentioned the end game? Well, this is the post-end game. Congratulations if you have persevered this far. At this stage of the game, you start obtaining the best possible items that money can buy. The first item on your shopping list, a maxed 50 mil Midas sword. You gain most of this money by farming zealots at unseen speeds and learning the ways of the virtual stock market to profit off of other people's laziness using bazaar flipping.
Okay. Am I taking this? Okay.
You manage to snag this item in the dark auction, which you end up overpaying for, and you set on a quest to get every max enchantment. Altogether, this ends up costing well over 100 million coins. Next item, a full set of max superior armor, which you obtain by not only leeching the frags in the end, but purchasing them on the bazaar. After you spent nearly 65 million coins to obtain the armor, you spend another 50 mil maxing it out with enchants. You have now spent well over 200 mil. Lastly, you finalize your account by purchasing a legendary ender dragon pet, and after spending more money than you could have ever comprehended, you have reached the max. The only thing left for you to do now is to max all of your skills. Now, the story I just told seemed like it happened over the course of a few weeks. However, even if you play for more than half the day, it will still take you months to get on the level mentioned previously. Somewhere in this progression, you will grow bored of the game. The adrenaline rush you used to get when farming zealots is gone, and you are ready to move on to another game. If Valorant is even still around, you return to it as a refugee, looking for more interesting games. However, you will soon come to realize that all of your skill has been drained away by Skyblock, and you no longer have your previous potential. So, you quit video games entirely. You return back to normal life. You start attending school again. Your interests shift as you go on to try something new. You can finally move away from the game that destroyed your life. The addiction is over. Months later, you are thinking about life, and suddenly you glance upon the idea of Skyblock. You remember how you used to waste your life over a pointless video game, all of the great times you had, and the bad ones as well. On a whim, you decide to log back into the game. The first thing you notice when you arrive at your island is that all of your minions are full. Taking out the material gives you a few million levels. The next thing that you notice is that there have been a few new updates. One of the updates that you heard about before leaving was the dungeon update, which conveniently came out right in the middle of when that one guy that makes YouTube videos was writing his script. You start checking out more and more updates, until, eventually, you become addicted again. So you start back on whatever step you left off on, and the grind continues. Skyblock is no doubt an addictive game, but it's a game that's worth being addicted to. This is the first time we have seen a Minecraft game mode so complex that it's impossible to say you have completed the game. Because in reality, there is no way to complete Skyblock. In vanilla Minecraft, some people will say that beating the Ender Dragon is completing the game, even though it isn't. But in Skyblock, there is no one that knows where the game ends. And that is why I can confidently say that Skyblock is the best Minecraft game ever created. Bye. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys